All right, this one's really good. Anthropic just shipped a new feature that lets cheaper, lower cost models call up to Opus or Sonnet for advisory and for support. This gives you better scores on benchmarks and cheaper token usage and cheaper API calls. And hey, if you're new here, I'm Kevin. I break down what's happening in AI and how you can build with it. So if that's you, hit follow. So the new feature is called Advisor Mode, and it allows Sonnet or Haiku to call up to Opus when it hits a snag or when it gets a complex prompt or question from you as the user and it doesn't know how to proceed exactly. So it allows these models to go to Opus for planning, and then they get to go act as the executor for those commands or those thoughts from Opus, which gives you crazy sustain and crazy token usage and efficiency by using Opus for a really small amount of that prompt, and then Sonnet or Haiku is the one actually activating and executing on that. This is something we got into last Friday on AI Recess. Some people in the community were asking, how do you make use of token usage? How do you get through usage windows now that Anthropic has kind of tightened down on the peak times when people use Claude? Everyone's struggling on how to make efficiencies with tokens. And I mentioned that Advisor Mode came out via the API and it wasn't available yet anywhere else, but now it's available in Claude Code. The setup is super simple. In Claude Code in the terminal, just type /advisor and you get this little pop-up box that essentially allows you to pick Opus when you're using Sonnet and then pick Sonnet when you're using Haiku, so that those cheaper, more efficient models can reach out to more advanced models, more reasoning models to give that advisory, and then they are still the actors. And this doesn't require any orchestration or any building on your part. This happens all within a single API call or a single prompt to Claude Code. So looking at the numbers, this is like a 12% reduction in token usage or API call cost over time. And then the scores are actually great. You get about a 2.5 to 3% increase in output and efficiency when using this approach. I also laugh at the community notes calling out Anthropic for their misleading or poorly scaled chart, which shows like this big difference when it's really just a small percentage. But still, getting extra output and efficiency with cheaper cost is best of both worlds. So it's really hard to get that. So give Advisor Mode a try if you are stuck hitting usage windows or you're worried about your token usage, and join AI Recess for more conversations and more tips and practices like this.